I now recognize and welcome the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Chairman Jimenez and Ranking Member McIver. I represent a large portion of Port of Houston, the ship channel, generating millions of jobs, nearly $1 trillion in economic activity. One of the issues that we've been facing are these ship-to-shore cranes used in many U.S. ports. The Biden administration announced a $20 billion deal to develop domestic manufacturing of these cranes. I fully support that. And it's important that that money continues to flow. But let me ask you, Mr. Davis, how long do you foresee before we have enough of these cranes made in the United States to meet the demands of our seaports in a reliable way?
Thanks for the question, Congressman. It's a great one and really speaks to the thinking several steps ahead, right? I don't have a great sense. The manufacturers of these equipment would have a better sense of how long they could stand up production lines. But my best, most aggressive estimate is about 2 years hence. And that's not from right now. That's from when the funding's in place, the purchase orders are put down. So give or take, we're talking a 2-year timeline. That, of course, even if we were able to create a domestic manufacturing program, would take years and years and years to replace all of these key equipment at the ports. So they could start rolling off the line within a couple years, but to replace the hundreds of cranes that are across the country would take many years, which is why we stand by the fact that in the near term, using the equipment that we're using now is the right way to go, while also pursuing reshoring.
Because most of these type of cranes that are needed at the Houston Ship Channel, as we widen and deepen the port, are made in China. Will you all agree that we need to make significant investments here to reduce our national security risk? Either one of you.
Agree completely, Congressman. We support the ability of any of the ports to get the best equipment that's on the market right now, including Port Houston's ongoing crane purchases and installation.
Let me follow up on the Port Security Grant Program, which we receive. Is there anyone who disagrees with the importance of that security grant program? Anyone disagrees with that? Okay, I want to shift to something else because all of you have indicated the need for the United States to make significant investments in this area. Under USAID, about $44 billion in investments are made. Of that amount, about $1.8 billion is made to the Western Hemisphere in terms of investments. I would think that by cutting off those investments of USAID, which helps to counter the PRC's Belt and Road Initiative in Latin America, that we are enhancing our national security risk. And we are opening the door for the PRC to step in when we are stepping out, and especially when we are stepping out without any real notice being given to Latin America, Panama, you name it, across the board, in fact, across the world. Do you all see the significance? Anyone would question the significance of, under the USAID program, that $1.8 billion being given to the Western Hemisphere? Anyone would question that? And in fact, and I see no one is challenging that. Dr. Burge, you indicated that we should up our game. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? What do you mean? More investments being made in the United States, more investments being made in the Western Hemisphere?
Thanks for the question, Congressman. I think it's a question occasionally of investments, but it's also a question, to the chairman's point, of commercial diplomacy. I think we need to flip the mindset of some of our diplomats in the region. And I mentioned a couple ideas where I think we could recruit more people who have private sector backgrounds, bring them into embassies in a fast-track way, and also to make it part of an ambassador's performance evaluation. With respect to USAID, sir, I think there are ways in which we can make USAID, and I certainly hope that in the next iteration of USAID, it is more strategic. So for example, this hearing is focused quite a bit on Panama. We closed our USAID office
Yeah, but let me just
Obama administration
and I hate to cut you off. and I hate to cut you out, Dr. Berg, but when we are making those investments to the Western Hemisphere, if we cut them, I think we're sending the wrong signal to the PRC. They then step in even more. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.